Hello everyone, here is Silverback from Silverback Kingdoms. Here's the link if you want to join the website. The Academy and the Castle are always open for new members and it's free. I hope everyone is fine today. We're going to talk about a very delicious subject today, which is the full-bloods, which is people who are born with like werewolf genetics or a shapeshifter genetics in them. But before we begin, please, I really would appreciate if you subscribe to the channel because it's a lot of work and it's free, and personally it will also help. If I was you, I wouldn't skip it, because if you want to become a master of shapeshifting and see more content, well, you know what to do. Okay, so let's begin. So how do you know if you have shapeshifter blood in your genetics? Well, it pretty much depends on one factor, actually, your genes. Like, where do you come from? Who are your parents, grandparents? Do you have ancestors that had shapeshifter blood? Is your bloodline native, like native people who lived in the forest for like 5,000 years? Because there's a lot of Native Americans and other natives that can actually shapeshift, and they have this in their blood, and it runs in the family. Sometimes it jumps a generation, but, you could start there by asking your parents or trying to find out. If you are like me, and you're born somewhere else and don't know your real parents because you were adopted or other reasons, well, there's still this blood test you can do to get your DNA example. It's quite a bit expensive, but at least you get to know where you come from, exactly how much percentage you are of this or that. And there's always this very obscure, unknown DNA, this unknown percentage that you don't know what it is. If it's, I don't know, you as a shapeshifter, or if, like, is it shapeshifting blood or alien hybrid composition that the government don't want to talk about, but it could be anything, that unknown percentage. But it can be nothing, so don't put your hope on this. Plus, this test is very expensive unless you know somebody. Another way to know is if you were always acting like a wolf or were very different as a kid. Like, what I mean is that your parents needed to put you into a natural space to avoid confrontation and problems with other kids. If you were that weirdo, hyperactive kid that loved to go in nature, run on the floor, and being overall embarrassing for your parents, it could be a sign, but it's not it. Another good way to know if you're born a shapeshifter is at what age you shapeshift for the first time. Like, I think like pure blood can start to shift around, I don't know, 8 years old. The sooner I saw from a shifter was 8 years old, because she had special blood. Special blood or pure blood or half bloods, what they do more than other people that can still shapeshift, by the way, is that they have an advantage at the speed, and they do it naturally. They don't think about it, and for them it happens accidentally, random, out of nowhere, and they freak out. It's like it changes their life, and they don't understand. Like, they thought they were normal humans and they just shapeshift, or they find a family member doing it, or they catch someone they know doing it, or there's something there. You can feel it. Another way to know is when you look at lichens and werewolf pictures, you feel compelled. There's something there. There's haunting feeling. You feel connected to that, and you feel that this is you inside. Lichens can shapeshift faster and they have a higher pedigree, if you like. But don't worry about being born a shapeshifter or not. You don't have to be born a shapeshifter in order to be shift. That's a misconception shapeshifter go with, and it's so wrong. It's a major turnoff for people who want to try to shift, because they tell people like, oh, I can shift. I cannot shift. My parents were not shapeshifter. I don't have DNA. That's not true. Your mind is over the matter. So if you know how a wolf feels like, for example, it can be another animals, if you have a wolf soul, or you were reincarnated, then you already know how a wolf feels like. Then you can use that as a tool to build up your DNA again. And then your body, the trick is to trick your brain to understand that it's not in the right body. And it's supposed to change like naturally after a lot of building, shifting energy, mental shifting, etc., with exercises and daily practice. But pure bloods and half-bloods and people who are born shapeshifters, the only difference is that they do it faster, very like a lot faster and a lot sooner in their life. So, and it's pretty much accidental most of the times, and they freak out. But everyone can shapeshift. Even a human can shapeshift. There are ways to condition someone. The natives, just take for example the native people, they can they teach people animal medicine, because they tell them it's a good thing to know the perspective of other animals, other beings. It makes you learn, it makes you grow and get wiser and see the world in a different perspective. And it's very interesting because a few people do not have like shapeshifter blood, but they do learn to mentally shift and do stuff like that anyway, so they can learn all these things. And some people reach the P-shift that way, and it's great. But of course the native people won't talk about this. It's more or less prohibited because it's a very, very dangerous topic to talk about, because you know, when someone knows that there's like a werewolf somewhere, the government is never far. If there's an accident or anything, problems occur and the person might get caught, or it's a dangerous thing. Never tell anyone that you're a shapeshifter, and if you go outside to P-shift, please be careful, okay? But yeah, you don't have to be a full blood to P-shift, but it helps. Another way I could see if you're a shapeshifter or not, if you have like, I know it's gonna sound weird, but there's a theory that says that humans are genetically altered by aliens and ancient aliens, and that we all have this hybrid blood that the government don't want us to know about. Like that percentage could be it, that unknown percentage in the DNA test, I mean. But it's just a theory. But if you are a starseed, or that you feel that you're a part alien, or that you're a witch, you can be a witch and have natural powers too. Magic is a way to reach physical shifting, but I really don't recommend it. Unless you are born a witch and doing natural magic and know how it works, know that it backfires, know how to use it properly. But even the most expert magicians, they always get backfired and problems and bad lucks in their life, because magic is a great tool, but magic comes with a huge cost, and it's very unpredictable. Even light magic, like all kind of magic, they're real, they work, but they bring so much problems if you're not careful enough. So I don't suggest magic, but if you're born a witch, maybe you can do it more naturally than other people. Or if you're born an alien or a starseed, or someone who reincarnated, you know, as long as you have the animal or the creature's soul in you, you can build up this shifting energy and reach the P-shift anyway. So even if you're a human, it's harder, but it's possible. I think that pretty much covers it. The only thing I could add is I knew some people who were supposedly pure blood, and they supposedly knew the real story of the origin of the werewolves, and he did not talk to me about it because it was supposedly private. And sometimes he says that people in families who are pure blood and shapeshifters, they live together as families in certain, you know, secluded regions and everything. But everyone knows that, like, most people there are werewolves, but they just shut the fuck up about it because it's dangerous. But even the cops know, and you know, you cannot know if these things are true or not, because even if you know someone, it's not always easy to know when they're lying or not. So it's a bit hard. My theory on the werewolf origin are from Atlantis, but I will talk about this in another video. So stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe. If you have any questions or need help with anything, I will answer in the next videos. Thank you for watching. You're the best.